This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Thank you for listening to the Golden State Media Concept Sports Podcast, where Alex and I will discuss the latest and greatest news in the world of sports.
Hey, I'm Alex. You mentioned my name. That's me.
I did, and that is you.
Hey.
And I'm Ben.
Hey, Ben. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man.
How you been since I last seen you?
It's been a couple days, so not much has really gone on, but I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain.
That's good to hear. I'm happy to hear that.
And you, my friend?
My old friend is doing well.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm really more so. I'm past this week. I'm looking forward to next week.
I think I know why.
Why?
You're going to Comic-Con.
Dude, I am going to Comic-Con. I'm so excited. Comic-Con is something I've wanted to go to my entire life. And buying tickets to Comic-Con isn't like you can just buy tickets. Like, oh man, it's expensive. I hope I can get tickets. What it is like my brother knows a guy he works with, and he's been trying to get Comic-Con tickets for 10 years, right? The way you do it is you sign up months in advance, usually like January, late January, early February, and you sign up for your your tag, your Comic-Con tag, and you have to do it every year, no matter if you're there the year prior or not. But the year prior, you get your tickets before, and then there's the regular sale, and so you do it months before, and then you get your confirmation code around the time it happens and all this stuff, right? And you sign up February of the, say you missed the deadline. You sign up in February for the following February. You have to do it soon. And so once you do it, then you get, when it gets close to the time, you get emailed a confirmation number and where you put a link to where you're supposed to go, and it sends you to a waiting room. Well, from that waiting room, it sends you out to, you put your, from most desired to least desired days, so most people will do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like us. That was our most desired. And Thursday, which is the technical first day of the con, is usually least desired. Just because it's the first day, not everything's going on. Well, it's random, so you get sent into these lobbies and you buy your tickets. And we missed out on Friday, Saturday, Sunday because, like I said, it's a random, you get in or you don't. And we got sent to Thursday. So we only got Thursday, but we're going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, leave Saturday. While I'm down there, there's a Blink-182, A Day to Remember, All-American Rejects concert that I'm going to.
Nice.
Yeah, so you know how excited I am about that.
Nice.
There's always a bunch of stuff to do outside of the actual Comic-Con itself.
Right, it's San Diego.
Well, I mean, and because it kind of takes over the city in a sense, at least that direct area, that Gaslight, all that stuff. There's always stuff to do, and they use big areas like the Hard Rock Hotel is getting turned into the Belle Rev Penitentiary from Suicide Squad. So there's things like that. I'm a huge American Horror Story fan. There's an American Horror Story virtual reality thing. I was like, okay, I love it, but I don't know if I'm doing that. Things like that, there's the Warner Brothers Batman v Superman stuff that I'm super stoked about. And, of course, that concert's going to be rad, too. And my buddy Esteban, who I told you before, I did my my comic podcast for a long time with him. And he's going, too. What really just grinds my gears is he had work that morning that we had to buy tickets. He had to wake up at 6 in the morning, right? He had work that morning. So he had his dad or whatever do it for him who couldn't care less, right? And his dad got him Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So
wow.
I was like, wow, well, enjoy it by yourself. You loser.
My girlfriend's sister lives in San Diego, and she works, I'm not sure the name of the restaurant, but it's a pretty high-end, high-class restaurant. I remember last year her telling us that when she was working, she was serving Stanley.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, too. And the cool thing I like is sometimes those celebrities will walk around Comic-Con in costumes and stuff, and they'll just walk around among the people, which is really cool. I got a chance to see I went to the Sacramento Con 4 weeks ago now, and There were some notable names there.
William Shatner was there, right?
He wasn't there the day I went there. There's 2
But he
days.
went to the event.
Yeah, he's usually there. Lou Ferrigno's usually there. Stanley's usually there. I saw Evan Peters, who a lot of people know from American Horror Story, or he's in the new X-Men series. He plays Quicksilver. I saw the guy that plays the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan, his last name. What's her name? Agent Carter. I don't know why I can't think of her name right now. I normally have it off the top of my head, but we got to see them speak a bit, so that was cool. But I mean, Sacramento Comic-Con is kind of like I'm sorry, San Diego Comic-Con is like
that's the mecca.
That's like that, and New York Comic-Con are like the mother loads. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
That's gonna be awesome. We'll have to get updated when you come back.
Yeah. And Ben, as a matter of fact, we'll mention now because we do have one show or 2 shows in between. But I'll let you guys know is Ben's going to be on his own on Thursday.
We all by myself.
That's a song we didn't think to play. That would have been good because, like, think about it. When people listen to the podcast, they're by themselves.
I'm gonna be by myself doing a show.
Excited?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Jeremiah's pretty excited. My co-host.
He's gonna do a show by himself too.
He's doing 2 by himself, and I offered to do a preview show, which we've been going through the conference previews for college football, and I was like, yeah, I can do one, so you only have to do one by yourself. And then like I said that, and then like 20 minutes later, he's like, man, I'm doing 2 shows by myself.
I'm like, well, you turned down the offer, so
no, he's like excited about it. And what was I gonna say? Before we continue, the funny thing is, so I told you how it goes for buying tickets for Comic-Con. It's literally the exact same thing when it comes to hotels.
Really?
Mm-hmm, which is
so you could end up with a ticket or not a hotel.
No. I mean, well, yes and no. It's how it is in terms of priority for like the best days compared to the worst days. It's the same thing with the hotels. The closer the hotel, the harder it is to get into that lobby to buy, things like that. We got a pretty decent hotel though. It's only like 2.5, 3 miles from.
It's not bad
from the actual center, and there's a tram. There's a
tram.
Tram that's from the hotel that's going to take you there.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, man.
Well, I'm excited.
I've never been to San Diego before.
I've been to San Diego once, but I was really young.
The farthest down California I've been is just LA. Never been to San Diego. I want to go to Santa Barbara. I want to go to. Obviously, I want to go to, and we'll be going to San Diego. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. I'm excited for you.
Thanks, dude. I'm stoked.
That's good. We'll have to, as I said, we'll have to get updated when you come back. So for the show today, going to be talking a few things here. Number one, the ESPYs. ESPYs were last night, the annual sports awards. It's always a great event. I do enjoy the ESPYs all the time. Also going to be updating you on some stuff about Draymond Green. There's more details in the Draymond Green saga. Saga. And then we're also going to be talking about Tom Brady. Yesterday he had his appeal.
Thomas Brady.
He had his appeal denied, so he is still suspended for 4 games.
I got stoked when I read it.
Really? Well, we'll have to talk about that. So
we'll talk about it.
Let's jump in first with the ESPYs.
Yeah, we'll get into ESPYs. Some notable, pretty much the most really notable awards given out are usually best male athlete, best play, best female athlete, best game, best moment. So we'll kind of cover those real quick. Is best male athlete to some people surprised, I suppose, but not really surprised to most people, is LeBron James, NBA, obviously. Cleveland Cavaliers. Some people would have voted for Steph Curry, but I think after the finals, it kind of shone through that no matter if he wins the MVP or not, LeBron is still arguably the best player every year.
He also won the ESPY for best basketball player.
Yeah,
so Cleveland and the Cavaliers really swept a lot of these categories. Really, I think so more about, and there's an ESPY for this best moment, which is the city of Cleveland winning its first championship in 52 years with the Cavaliers. So really, I think it's more about the moment of Cleveland winning that championship after so long that really catapulted them to winning so many ESPYs last night. So
yeah, I imagine that too, yeah.
They were really the beneficiary of that, in my opinion.
We move to the best female athlete, and you get probably what everybody assumed. I assumed Brianna Stewart, basketball player. I forget the team she plays for now, but obviously of UConn fame.
She's in the WNBA. Yeah,
that's what I mean. I forget who she plays for. But obviously of UConn fame, she's the LeBron James of the WNBA pretty much now. She was the best player in college basketball. I think it's maybe too soon right away to tell her to say she's the best in the WNBA. But I don't think it's.
She plays for the Seattle Storm.
Oh yes, Storm. Thank you. I think she'll get there. So for sure, what's the word I'm looking for? A category that I'm sure you are happy with the winner is best play with Aaron Rodgers and his Hail Mary against the Detroit Lions last year. The first of
Richard Rodgers. Yeah. You could argue that. You could say the one against Arizona was better.
Only because at the point, Richard Rodgers looked like he kind of it was almost like he was like boxing out and just jumped and got it. Which I mean,
Right.
and he was arguably 5 inches taller than everybody over there. Was it Janis?
You talking about the Arizona game?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Janis is little. Janis is maybe 6 foot. And
He's not really thick like Richard. Richard Rodgers is a tight end, so he has that bulky body. Janice is a skinny wide receiver.
Yeah, so I look at it 3 ways, right? So you have, starting off, you have the throw. In Detroit, he's running to his right. He has time to set his feet, do the little gallop forward and throw, right? In Arizona, he runs across the field to the left against his throwing motion, does a quick turn, just quick throw. So amazing throw for one. Rodgers, like I said, it's a up and down and kind of a rainbow one. Richard Rodgers kind of boxes out and jumps and gets it over everybody that's probably bigger than him and probably smaller than him, excuse me. The Janis one is you see Janis at about the 7-yard line, put his head down and sprint because somehow Rodgers overthrew him on that flick throw.
Janis is a really fast receiver.
He is quick, yeah. He is very quick. And then, so that's 2. And then you look at the catch. Like I said, Richard Rodgers boxed out. He just went up, got it, and came down with it against like 3 people that are clearly smaller than him. Janis went up against Patrick Peterson, and I forget his first name, but Bethel, the nickel corner kind of roam safety that the Cardinals use. Not very, very good players, bigger than him players, and he went up and snatched it away from them. So I personally think, yes, that is a better one. I mean, unfortunately, they ended up winning because of it. They did end up losing that game, but it was a killer game to start.
Justin Bethel.
Thank you. And I know, even though you're a Packers fan, you can't disagree with me that was a good game.
Yes, of course.
You and I.
We've talked about it before.
Not the word I'm looking for. You and I, regardless, that's the word. Of the state of our love for the Steelers and the Packers, we can always say, even if they lose, it's a good game. I was looking yesterday when I was waiting for Jeremiah to get here. I was watching the highlights of that 2009 Steelers Packers game where Ben threw for 503 yards.
Where he threw it to Mike Wallace to end the game.
And
I remember that game.
And he opened the game with like an 80-yard touchdown pass to him. You can't deny that was a good game.
Right.
Super Bowl 45. You can't deny that was a good game.
It was.
Things like that. So I'm glad that you can at least do that.
When I look at the best play, I think kind of 2 things. One, I think the symbol of the Packers play that won this one, the one Richard Rodgers against the Lions, that really kind of turned our season around in a way because we were struggling. We started 6-0, then we lost to Denver. So the Packers were really struggling. Looks like we're going to lose on Thursday Night Football to Detroit. Then we have this play. It's like, oh, wow, like this could really change some momentum. And then you look at the Hail Mary against the Cardinals, just the signification of that being a playoff game, forcing overtime right at the end of the game.
I don't know if signification's a word. Significance is a word.
The significance. Well, whatever. So the significance of that, end of the game, forcing overtime, I feel like that should have probably catapulted the Detroit one.
I don't know. I think for what it did for the Packers turning it around and winning them the game as time ran out, I think it's probably, people looked at it as the best play. And it was the first one. The first
yeah,
was
that's
best.
true. That's true. Yeah, so we have some more here. So obviously, we mentioned best male and female athlete. Best record-breaking performance goes to Steph Curry of the Warriors for hitting 402 3-pointers this year.
You know what was crazy to me, too, is it wasn't that he broke his own record. It's that he broke and passed his prior record not even halfway through the season.
Right.
I was like, are you kidding me, man? Like it's just like, it's like he's playing with kids half the time.
Well, when it comes to hitting threes.
That's what I mean. Like, he's got one of the purest shots I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely. Definitely the best shooter in the NBA.
Do you see best international athlete?
Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes. So not record-breaking, I'm sorry. So breakthrough athlete goes to Jake Arrieta of the Cubs, really off of that second half of last year he had on his way to winning the NL Cy Young. Best moment, City of Cleveland winning. Best upset is Holly Holmes' win over Ronda Rousey.
Don't forget best NFL player.
Best NFL player
MVP.
goes to Cam Newton. As far as best upset goes, I would have given it to Iceland over England in the Euros, but I don't feel like that happened early enough to be nominated.
It wasn't, yeah. Well, because what I was telling you...
Maybe that'll be on the ESPY Awards for next year.
Yeah, what I was telling you was typically they do, so this 2016, right? Typically they'll do it from the year prior, so anything that was a 15 season or 15-16. So obviously people are like, well, the Cavaliers won last month. Well, it was for the 15-16 season. So, kind of the way they do it. Did you say best comeback player?
No, but that goes to Eric Berry of the Chiefs. The
Very
safety.
happy about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love
he had
Eric
to
Berry,
fight
man.
that.
He's one of my favorite. He's always, since he's come into the league from Tennessee. He's always been one of my favorite safeties in the league. Honestly, he's really fun to watch. But that's just another reason to appreciate the kind of player he is.
Yeah, coming back from that cancer battle, it's almost like last year he really didn't even miss a beat going back into the league.
It's funny. They have pictures for all of these people on this little thing I'm reading the list of. Because I only got to watch a little bit of it, and then obviously I saw the recap of the players that won. And all of them have pictures. So, like, Arrieta has his MLB picture. Eric Berry has his NFL picture. So does Cam Newton. Ryan Dungey has his picture up for I forget what action sport he does. I think he's a motocrosser. Kyle Busch has his NASCAR one, right? The picture of Steph Curry looks like it's like a picture from Facebook or something. Like he took it himself. It's really weird. And some
like
of
a
them,
selfie or
some of
something?
them are there, and some of them aren't. It's like the picture that would come up if you searched them on Wikipedia. And then just to round out some of the more notable names here real quick, Jordan Spieth came on strong last year, won the U.S. Open. He was named best male golfer. Peyton Manning won the Icon Award, which is, kind of hard to not give it to him.
As well as Kobe Bryant and Abby Wambach. There's 3 awards for that one.
Thank you. And, Kobe also, how can you not? And then Abby Wambach, I believe, is retiring after this year.
Yeah, she's
officially.
done. She's done.
Mm-hmm. And then last but not least, I like to always mention award of perseverance. The Jimmy V Award was given to Craig Sager.
Yeah, TNT NBA sideline analyst. He's currently battling cancer as well. So
that dude's. Hey, you see his jacket, man?
He always wears the flashy out there.
He wore it was
sport coats and suits and everything.
It was like an off blue jacket.
Looks kind of black to me.
No, it was like an off
with the pink and yellow roses.
Yeah, pink and yellow roses, dude. Killer.
Yeah, he always kills it. He always kills it in a good way. Yeah, in a good way. And then outstanding team went to the Cavs as well. So yeah, some more notables. We have Bryce Harper wins the best baseball player. Sidney Crosby wins the best hockey player. Buddy Hield wins the best male college athlete. I probably would have given it to Christian McCaffrey for the season he had, but Buddy Hield, the 2-time reigning Big 12 Player of the Year, so he's done it for a couple of years now. And some more notables. You said Kyle Busch wins best driver. Best fighter goes to Conor McGregor.
Yeah, Conor McGregor, who came on obviously pretty strong last year.
He really increased his popularity there within the last year in the sporting world.
I'd say. Yeah, and then if you're into horse racing, Mario Gutierrez,
best jockey.
All right. Well, also I like the Pat Tillman Foundation too. So Elizabeth Marks, I'm not quite familiar with who she is. She has a picture with Prince Harry on this, but
okay.
Just for those that like Pat Tillman, like I do, Elizabeth Marks, you go, girl. All right, so we're gonna take our first break here at the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, and we'll be right back with news of Tom Brady. So you guys don't go nowhere. Ben and I will be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
We are back here at the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Quick update here, round 1 of the British Open currently going on at Royal Troon Golf Course in Scotland. Really, Americans dominating, Alex. The top 6 players on the leaderboard right now are all American. Leading currently and still playing on the course, he's through 15 holes, is lefty Phil Mickelson. Turning back the clock, Alex.
Dude, he's the sickest lefty in the game.
Well, he's like the only really notable one I can think of.
That's why he's the sickest lefty in the game.
So Phil Mickelson 6 under through 15 holes, and then he's a shot ahead of Patrick Reed, who was the clubhouse leader until Mickelson took over. He's at 5 under. Then we have a tie of like the next 8 guys at 4 under. Some notables here: Jordan Spieth, you mentioned, Alex, best male golfer. He finishes the day at even par. Rory McIlroy shoots a pretty good round. He shoots 2 under. Jason Day's won over number one golfer in the world, so he's not doing too well. Ricky Fowler as well, 2 under. So the British Open is really one of my favorite tournaments.
Yeah, it's a good tournament.
There's always I feel like it's probably the hardest to replicate because you have all the time you have these nasty wind conditions, like upwards of 20, 25 mile per hour gusts all the time. You have these super, super deep bunkers that they have to hit out of. Like, it kind of reminds me of St. Andrews all the time. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the British Open is really hard to be consistent at, so.
And the weather changes like that.
Yeah, all the time. Like, they were saying that today's probably the best conditions. Yeah. And it's going to get even worse as the days go on with the next few days. So we'll have to keep you updated on that.
Oh, definitely we will. But we're going to move on to New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady and his it's been going on for months and months. Obviously last year he was supposed to do his 4-game suspension, but got it pushed off until this year. It was stupid. But
with the way the appeal went,
it got, So he once again appealed his latest attempt to avoid this 4-game suspension to start this year, but it was pretty much straight up rejected. The Second U.S. Circuit's Court of Appeals in Manhattan issued a 1-sentence rejection. I'm going to open that to find out what that 1 sentence was, telling him, hey, man, no. It says, as a stated term, let me find it. No, that's just the details. Okay.
Okay, Alex, while you're looking for that.
Look for that.
While you're looking for that, as
funny.
We tease the segment, you were like, woohoo. Tell me why.
Why
were you happy?
Why? Because he just deal with it, man. Like, no offense. But
also no pun intended.
Here's the sentence. It says in capitals, "It is hereby ordered," and then that the petition is denied. Just straight up, you're denied. I like.
It's
Tom
really
Brady.
just like that. Yeah, straightforward.
Yeah, 1 sentence.
You're denied.
Yeah, 100%. I like Tom Brady. I do, and it's hard to. I get it's hard to not want to like him. He's such a great player, but if you did what you did, which I mean, it looks like you did, it's hard to make it look like you did.
We'll really never know for sure. But
never. But
I would agree with you that there's definitely
there's a lot.
It's definitely a lot of concerns
why'd you destroy your phone, man.
There's definitely a lot of concerns, and there's definitely a lot of thoughts that say, okay, you had some sort of involvement.
You at least
in
knew
this.
about it, yeah. And so pretty much what it is for me is like you could have been done with this already. You could have like I said this in the football podcast yesterday. No offense to the Patriots, but it's not like you guys won the Super Bowl last year. It's not like those 4 games he played really did that much for you guys to go on your journey to the Super Bowl. Yeah, you got to the AFC Championship game, but and a lot of people, some of the real like pessimistic fans say if no matter where you got in your season, if you didn't win the Super Bowl, it was a losing season, which I don't always agree with, but if you look at it that way in a certain, scope of everything. But, I mean, you could be done with this already. And I get, you're getting near the twilight of your career in a sense. You're still playing at a high level, and you don't want to, miss any time that you can because this is getting to, it's like, you want to have as much as you can before you lose it forever. But then you can think of it in the sense, too, like, hey, man, you get 4 weeks off. That's a great rest for your body. You're getting old, Tom. Things like that.
And right at the start of the season, too.
Yeah, I just think... like, this could have been done already, and you're just extending it, and apparently there's very little chance that this is going to be – he's going to have really much to do at all left to really appeal this.
Yeah, I feel like really from the get-go he was fighting a lost cause. Maybe you could argue the NFL maybe overstepped a little bit. I think 4 games is probably a little harsh. I would have given him maybe 2 because there is that uncertainty there. You really never know. Obviously, we mentioned destroying the phone, things like that. It doesn't look good.
Why?
Doesn't look good, so I would have maybe gone with 2. But still, even at 4, you look at it, that's really a quarter of the season. You have a 16-game season, so that's kind of a lot. But as you mentioned, you could have been done with this already. You could have put this away. You already have your legacy of being one of the greatest quarterbacks somewhat tarnished there with this and with Spygate. So you already have those question marks there. I feel like you could have just, like you said, put this away. You're fighting a lost cause, Tom Brady.
100% fighting a lost cause.
He's fighting a lost cause. Now he's looking at appealing this all the way to the Supreme Court. Do you think the Supreme Court really cares about Tom Brady getting suspended by the NFL? The Supreme Court hears thousands of appeals every year and petitions.
Chooses not to hear.
They hear thousands of petitions a year. They maybe rule on like 100. Mm-hmm. Do you think they're really going to choose this Tom Brady story? No.
Not me personally.
And as far as Brady goes, he's already fought this so long. He might as well continue it. So I understand what he's doing. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I would have said, okay, maybe I can somewhat appeal this suspension down to a couple games instead of 4. Instead of totally eliminating it from the water. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, come on, just give it a rest already. I don't really want to talk about this anymore. You know what I mean?
And I was telling Jeremiah, too, yesterday, the Patriots, it's like a foregone conclusion that they're going to win the AFC East in the first place. I still think that they can win the division this year, even if he was to miss those 4 games, because Garoppolo, for one, is not a bad player. And you have 2 games in your division against the Bills and the Dolphins, but I think they can beat the Bills and the Dolphins. The Bills will be a close one, but I think they can beat the Bills. If you look at since 2000, the New England Patriots have won the AFC East every year, but 2000, 2002, and 2008. Both of those, 2000 and 2008 being the Dolphins, and then 2002 being the Jets. Otherwise, they've won it every single year when the common denominator pretty much from 2001 and on is Tom Brady.
Well, with the exception of that one year when he got injured and they had Matt Castle, they still finished 11-5 that year and made the playoffs, you know. So when you look at the Patriots' first 4 games, you mentioned the Dolphins and the Bills are on that schedule. So they would open at the road in Arizona facing the Cardinals. With or without Tom Brady, that'd be a hard game. So
I don't know if I could have them win that game with Tom.
So week 2, Dolphins. Week 3, Texans. Week 4, Bills. But the thing that I think benefits, because this suspension is not going to get overturned. It's going to be put in place. Brady should miss the next 4 games. I don't see any way he can overturn this year.
I find it very hard, and they said that the chances of him even being able to do so are slim to none.
Right, so you obviously throw Jimmy Garoppolo into the Wolves.
Not a bad player. You're throwing him into his first technical career start against the Arizona Cardinals, who was the best team in football for the majority of the year last year.
That's the thing that I find interesting, because you have Jimmy Garoppolo, you drafted highly in the second round a few years ago. You've never really seen him in a meaningful game.
Yeah, the second round?
I think it was second round. From Eastern Illinois, the same college that produced people like Tony Romo.
So
you have, I'm not going to say a pedigree.
Have him play this season for you. Play 4 games.
Well, that's if he can stay healthy.
People give him a bad rap. You know what
I mean? Okay, but anyways, so
this isn't the Romo delegation.
We'll talk about Romo eventually,
sometime when he gets.
But anyway, so the thing that I think benefits Garoppolo, obviously, you open on the road in Arizona. That's a tough game. But then you have Dolphins, Texans, and Bills. You have all 3 of those games at home, so you're in front of your home crowd. When you look at the Patriots' offense, now it's really more of a quick passing, a screen, a check down.
Yeah, it's really
offense.
Tom's offense.
They're not really a vertical passing team anymore. They don't have a strong vertical threat.
No. Yeah.
So I think that could help Garoppolo. He's going to have easy passes, a lot of check downs, a lot of screen passes. That will really get him into game mode, get him ready. So I don't think it's really all that bad. Eventually, you're going to have to see what he has. Brady's not going to be there forever.
So I'm kind of happy about that, because I do like Garoppolo. You know, I'm a big quarterback guy, so I like seeing new young quarterback. But I would say they have a real solid shot at going 3-1. I would really give the Bills game to Buffalo if it was in Buffalo.
Okay.
Because they played them. I think they beat them both times last year. If not, they for sure beat them in Buffalo last year. But the Bills are a good young team with a great defense so far. You know, they're really pressuring opportunistic. Thank you. Defense. I think I would have given that to them if it was in Buffalo. But it's gonna be a close game. And when you're in New England doesn't have an insane home field advantage. But you know how those fans are. They expect a certain level of play. And well, I mean, do you think they boo Garoppolo if he starts off badly, or do you think that
I really don't think so, because you have to give him time. You can't expect someone to step in their first ever start, second, third, fourth start, whatever, to really come in and be a superstar already. You have to give him time. I think if he looks really, really badly, not necessarily that you boo him, but you have a concern of, okay, is this guy really the future once Tom Brady's done? Mm-hmm. He still has a great tutelage. He has great mentoring from Brady. I'm sure he's learned a numerous amount of things over the few years he's backed up Brady.
Yeah.
He still has Bill Belichick there. I don't think he'll get booed. I mean, New England is not one of those towns like Philly that just boo everyone if they're doing bad. I mean, they booed Donovan McNabb when they drafted him, and he's been arguably
the best Eagles quarterback,
right, alongside maybe like Randall Cunningham. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they boo. I mean, there's always some fans, There's always some fans that don't represent the fan base as a whole, But I don't think they boo him either. Personally.
Yeah, you have to give him a little bit of time. So
yeah, and I think he'll do well. I honestly do think he'll do well. So
in that system, quarterbacks can be set up to do really well because they're not asking. They're not exactly. Matt Castle has really only had 1 year, and that was the year he played in New England. He hasn't really done much.
His first year with the Chiefs wasn't bad.
Because in New England, they don't ask the quarterback to do much. They're not a vertical passing team. Mm-hmm. Check downs across the middle, short, quick passes, get the ball to your hands quickly. I feel like a lot of quarterbacks can be successful in that system.
I agree with you. On that one. So, personally, real prediction for both of us real quick, even though I think we're on the same page before we take our second break. Suspension upheld?
Yes. No way it gets overturned.
I'm okay with it, man. I am so okay with it. All right, so, and I'm sorry, Tom Brady, if you, for some reason, listen to this, but, it's just.
We hope you're listening, Tom.
Yeah, I hope you're listening. You're great. Take what's dealt to you, man. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's how it happens. All right, so we are going to take our first break here, like I said. Second break and the last break here, and then we're going to get into a little bit of a Draymond Green update, which we talked about last episode before leaving. So, Ben and I will be right back at the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. You guys don't go anywhere.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines, they got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Yeah.
This is the best. That's the best sports song of all time.
It's got to be up there.
It's pretty close.
Like stadium songs.
Yeah, Jeremiah and I had that conversation one time, and I was saying that and that one, that woohoo.
I think it's got to be Darude Sandstorm.
Man, how many times you go into a day thinking that you will make a reference to that song twice because we've referenced that song twice?
Probably never.
I don't think I would ever go into a day thinking that. Man.
Well, it happens here at the GSMC
we make
Sports
dreams
Podcast.
come true.
We're like Disneyland.
That is the biggest compliment anybody could ever give somebody. I mean, you know what? You're like Disneyland.
You just make dreams come true.
I'm glad you didn't say Disney World, but Disneyland.
No, we're West Coast. We're Disneyland,
all
man.
Day.
Not Disney World. I've never even been to Disney World.
Neither have I.
So.
Neither have I, man.
Well, we're in the same boat.
Mm-hmm. You got another update for me on the golf situation going on?
Yeah, so the British Open here at Royal Tune Golf Course in Scotland. Phil Mickelson has increased his lead. Earlier we mentioned he was 6 under. Well, he's birdied the last couple holes now. So he's 8 under through 17. So he's got a 3-shot lead over Patrick Reed and Zach Johnson, who's currently on the course still. He's through 14 holes at 5 under. So Phil Mickelson having a great, great round.
All right, good to hear. You know who's not probably having the greatest of days lately?
Who's that?
Golden State Warriors forward Draymond Green.
Oh, man, first they lose Game 7 of the finals. Well, I guess we could say first he gets suspended.
Yep.
Then they lose the NBA finals.
Yep.
Now he has this off the court getting arrested scandal going on. And there's even more rumors than there were on Tuesday when we first broke the story.
Yeah, so we're moving on to updating here. Draymond Green, of course, was arrested earlier on Sunday, like we said, for allegedly punching, now knowing who this guy is, Michigan State football player Jermaine Edmondson, who is a cornerback there, in the face during a confrontation at a restaurant just outside the campus. Green was arrested on charges of simple assault, which happened at what is called Conrad's Grill, the restaurant. He was released on a $200 bond. Ooh, that's going to hurt his pockets. And his arraignment,
I don't know how he's going to recover from that.
Yeah, his arraignment is scheduled for July 20th. If he's convicted, though, he could face up to a maximum of 93 days in jail and a $500 fine, which could be difficult seeing as he has the Olympics coming up. He also took a blood test at jail, and it showed he had a blood alcohol content of 0.10. He wasn't allowed to leave at that point until he was completely sober. But the interesting thing is this isn't the first incident between the two, according to Edmondson's statement. According to the police, he's the senior cornerback for the team who has already requested a has requested and was granted his full release to transfer.
Oh, yeah, of course. He'll transfer now.
Yeah, told police that he told Green to watch where he was going after Green had bumped into him at a different establishment on Friday night, and that he and his girlfriends were choked by Green's associates. That seems a little excessive. I don't know. And he said, he bumped into me and said, "Hey, bro, can you at least say excuse me?" And he asked who he was to think that it's okay to bump into somebody without saying excuse me. And then apparently they exchanged some words saying that he pays for kids like you scholarships and things like that. So, some bad blood, it sounds like.
It's not a good look for Draymond Green, I'll tell you that much. I don't know. You mentioned I don't know how much truth there is to this. I'm sure that maybe the incident prior, I'd see that being a possibility. That could be a possibility. But as far as like Edmondson and his team had mentioned that he and his girlfriend had gotten choked out by Green and his representatives prior to that. He had been punched in the face. I don't really give much truth into that. I don't, that doesn't seem really legit there. So, but still not a very good look for Draymond Green. As more stuff comes out, TMZ's been reporting this as they always do. So it's definitely not a good look for him.
Not much so. I mean, it really depends on how this goes. I can't find the report, but that Draymond had a friend with him who's also a notable athlete. I can't recall who it was because it came out yesterday. I think I was just kind of looking through stuff. But he said, 100% untrue. Never happened. He never hit anybody. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this goes personally. I mean, this isn't another, if it's true, it's another bad thing in the saga so far, as you said earlier, of Draymond Green.
Yeah, so that player you were mentioning is current Denver Broncos wide receiver and former Michigan State alum Benny Fowler.
Thank you. Yeah, Benny Fowler. I knew it was somebody who's on the cusp of somebody I would be able to remember. Yeah, Benny Fowler. Thank you. Yeah, he said it's just all
he
also
down. Said that Draymond Green did not punch Edmondson.
Yeah, that's right. He said the claims are against him are beyond false, and I look forward to the truth coming out. So this is interesting.
Okay, it says that he has a maximum of a $500 fine and facing 93 days in jail. Do you think they would really do that?
I said come on, dog. Come on.
No, but do you think they'd really do that?
I don't know if there's like a plea out or something. I don't know if you
just for a simple incident, even if it is just a punch.
I mean,
come on, have him just pay a fine and move on.
Yeah, and the one thing too that's interesting is he says that Draymond did not punch anybody, but sources did say that he slapped him. Never threw a punch, but he slapped him.
Right, so I'm saying, say worst case scenario is it was a punch. Why even give him jail time for that?
There's sources that say he slapped him, there's sources that say he punched him, and then there's the sources close to Green that told the newspaper out there that while Green did slap Edmonds, he never threw a punch or did any physical harm, and he is shocked by what they deem a laughable accusation.
Right, and Green said that when he was in the police department, he did want to try and reach out to Edmondson, trying to apologize. He wanted to resolve the issue. He did have the blood alcohol level you mentioned of 0.10, which is above the legal limit. So perhaps he just got too much to drink and got a little carried away out of hand, and things escalated when they shouldn't, which we did mention perhaps alcohol would be involved when you're at a bar. There's a lot of drinking going on. So perhaps maybe just had a little bit too much to drink. An incident happened. Now that he's more level-headed and sobered up, he wants to apologize, and he realizes he did something he shouldn't have. And he's trying to move on, but at the same time, you have to think about you shouldn't be even in that situation. I mean, you have to be more level-headed. We mentioned that on Tuesday. You got to be smarter about it. So
you got to carry yourself differently than that. You can't get in those situations. But interesting to see what's going to go on, and of course, we're going to keep you updated on that as we get news for it. There's nothing really up to date since our last show that really came out, excluding that we found out who this guy was, and we thought it was a fan. Some kid, it is a kid, but happens to be a Michigan State football player as well. So, deem it interesting, I would say.
Yeah, he's going to have to go back to court on July 20th, so that's when we can really find out what's going on. But I feel like this is sort of getting blown out of proportion a little bit. Definitely an incident you don't want to happen, but I don't know. I think it's the media is maybe making it more of a big deal than it really is. I mean, incidents like this happen all the time. If it's not Draymond Green or professional athlete, celebrity, are we even talking about it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Maybe he should have been.
I don't know where we'd even hear it. So.
Perhaps he should have been more level-headed and smarter about the situation. But Draymond Green, is someone who has a history of being very emotional. Look at what happened in the playoffs. So
I'm surprised he didn't kick him.
Give him a little tap.
Yeah, instead of a slap, give him a little tap, give him a kick. Yeah, I'm surprised. What are you gonna
Well,
do?
maybe that was going to be next.
He's like, keep talking, man. I'm gonna get you a kick.
Maybe, I don't know. But so yeah, Draymond Green. There is a possibility of a maximum of 93 days in jail. I think that would be really laughable if that were to happen. Just give him a fine and move on.
I like your way of thinking, Ben.
He has a lot to deal with. He has to go to the Olympics soon. Olympics start less than a month from now, so he's really got to try and get this resolved really quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that's an excuse. Like, he's got a lot he's got on his plate, you know? Like, that's not an excuse. If you hit somebody, you hit somebody, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's interesting to see what's going to go on, you know, if he's going to have to deal with any of this. Because I don't think he's going to spend any time in jail, personally. And
you see a lot of times celebrities sort of get, I don't know if I'd say special treatment, but sort of a slap on the wrist more times than not because of who they are. Like, I kind of look at Lionel Messi. He got sentenced to like 21 months in prison for his tax fraud scandal. But the way it works in Spain is like tax fraud is looked at as a very small, kind of like a misdemeanor sort of thing. So he's going to end up doing like, instead of 21 months in prison. Well, he got a huge fine. He got like a €3 million fine. So he has a huge fine. But instead of like a 21-month prison stint, he has like a 21-month probationary
Which
thing.
Is literally completely
like
the
nothing.
Opposite.
Which is like, okay, as long as you don't screw up, you're going to be okay.
Because 21 months in jail is probation in a sense. You're living in jail.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
21 months at home on probation. He's still playing soccer.
Yeah, and exactly. So, I mean, if that's me or you with our tax fraud thing like Lionel Messi, are we getting sentenced to prison? Probably most likely.
More than likely.
You know, even if Spain is pretty, they don't take that into consideration as like a high crime, you know. So athletes do sort of, and celebrities sometimes get special treatment on things. So I think you have to take that into consideration as well. That'll probably happen. Just give them a fine and then we'll move on. And
yeah, I think it's a story that's not a story. That just happens to still be a story.
I love the way you said that.
I mean, Draymond, thanks, man. You know what I like to say?
What's that?
The show's over.
The show is over.
Yeah, get on out. It's like Ferris Bueller. Go, we're done. It's over. Get out.
Okay, I mean, that's a good way to put it. So,
well, hey, Ben, where can they find us on the World Wide Web?
You can find us on a number of places. Number one, primarily, is our podcast network's website page. It's gsmcpodcast.com. You can click on the portfolios of podcasts, click on the sports one. There's so many more out there, sports-related and not. Really, any kind of viewing pleasure, listening pleasure you're going to have, you can find it right here at the GSMC Podcast Network. You can also find us on iTunes. iTunes is big for us. You can find us on YouTube. We're on Twitter and Instagram at GSMC_sports. Find us on Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher. If you're looking for more of a mobile app way to listen to us. Yeah.
YouTube? Did you say YouTube?
I did say YouTube.
Did you say Facebook?
Not on Facebook. We're at Facebook, GSMC Podcast Network. All the podcasts get updated on there as well. Statuses go crazy and constantly all day long. So
yeah, it's pretty rad. So as always, you guys can tweet us. You guys can leave reviews on our podcasts as well. We have some reviews on the sports podcast, I believe. No, I'm sorry, not. It's on the football podcast. We have some on the soccer podcast, I think, Ben. Some ratings.
Do we?
I think so.
Okay.
Some Ben and I will take a look at when we're done here. But again, thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back with an all-new episode tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Listen to that. It's going to be pretty great. As always, I am Alex.
And I'm Ben.
We will see you guys next time.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.